Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? Thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to share a few nuggets for my single sisters and my single friends. Just a few nuggets here for you. And the reason why I'm saying it is because our culture. I don't know if you all know, but I'm from Nigeria, like from West Africa, and even the culture here in the West. I don't know if it's so pronounced, but where we come from, marriage is like, when you're done with school, university, you're done with like you've gone to school, you're ready to marry. I mean, that's what that's how it's portrayed. You're ready to marry. But I do want to let you know that that's not it though. The culture makes us feel like we're ready to get married once we've gotten to the age, once we're like what, 25, 26, yeah, you're ready to start a family, but that's not the criteria of being ready to be married. So I wanted to share with some of us, like some of the single sisters, some things I didn't know I had to, learn in marriage. But if you know this, some of these things, it'll help you. And I talked about things that you need to think of before you think of marriage. And when I called it like self-love. You need to love yourself. You need to know your life purpose. You need to know what on earth you're here for. And you also need to know, you need to be whole. So I talked about 3 nuggets I'm going to give out for people that are not yet married. Because guess what? If you don't love yourself, if you don't get to a point where you love you're satisfied with yourself. I did a post where I said, where I got it from a mentor of mine. And he said, you don't go into marriage looking for love. You go into marriage because you already love yourself and you're willing to give that love to someone else. And that's how it should be. A lot of us, we go into marriage because we're looking for love. We're looking for that person to share the rest of our lives with. But you need to go into marriage because you love you. You're so content with yourself. You're so satisfied. You're so full of love. You're so full of joy. And you're ready to share that joy with someone else. So don't go into marriage looking for love. Make sure you love you, because marriage will not give that to you. I guarantee you that marriage will not give you that love, because you're supposed to love you. Hello, hi, how y'all doing? Hi, thanks for joining in. You're supposed to love you. And if you don't love you, you won't be able to love someone else. And that's vice versa with the husband or whoever you're looking at to marry. But I want you to know that if you don't love you, if you're not satisfied, because a time will come when that person that you're married to maybe doesn't compliment you, doesn't give you the attention that you need. And if you don't love you, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna be depressed. You have your self-esteem will go from 10 to a 5 or to a 3. Why? Because you don't love you. You're not content with you. You don't love what you see. You're not content with you. So that's what I'm saying. You have to love yourself, ladies, before you go into marriage. You have to get to that point where even if you love yourself, you love you even before you met him, and after you met him, even if I'm not saying he leaves, but I love myself before I met you, and even if you go, I still love me. You have to get to that point. I'm not saying to look for the negative or to wish for negative, but you have to get to that point where you know that you love yourself, and regardless of anything, you still love you. So that's one thing. You have to love yourself. Don't ever think that you will find love in marriage. I'm not saying you don't experience love in marriage, but you have to love you. And don't let your love for yourself be dependent on that other person. That's number one. Number two is you have to know your life purpose. What on earth are you here for? You know what? There is nothing that's created in this world that's created without a purpose. There is nothing whatsoever. Nothing. Everything you see right now with your physical eyes is solving a problem. Everything you see, even in your body. Everything is solving a problem. Your eyes is solving a problem. Your nose, your mouth, everything, every part of your body solves a problem. And so you have to understand that you have to know your life purpose. There's a reason you're here. There's a reason God put you on this earth. You're not just here to get a job, to get married, have children, and that's it. That's not your life purpose. That's not what you're here for. You're here to solve a problem on earth. God put you here to solve a problem. Now, how do you know? Just look inside you. Look inside you. What are you passionate about? What are the things that get you angry? What are the things that, tick you? A lot of people have different, it's different for everybody. It's not, everybody does not have the same, but I guarantee you there's something that God has. You're unique. Think about it. There's 7 billion people on the face of this earth, right? Nobody has the same fingerprints. Nobody has the same, that's to tell you that God has put something in each and every one of us that the world needs. There's something in you that the world needs. Just believe it when I say so. There is something in you that the world needs. We need to benefit from you. There's a gift in you that we need to benefit from. And that's just the truth. And so you need to find your life purpose. A lot of times, we're told, okay, so you're supposed to be the helper of the man you marry. That's true. But he also has to have a vision. What's his vision? He has to have a vision for the family. He has to have a vision for himself, because guess what? You can't help him if he doesn't have a vision. So before you marry, before you think about marriage, ask him, do you have a vision? What's your vision for this family? What's your vision for yourself? Because you cannot help someone that doesn't have a vision. You understand? So it's something that you need to do. You need to ask questions. The dating phase, where before you get married, you have to ask a lot of questions. And I'm going to go back to self-love. You also have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Know your strengths and your weaknesses. What are your strengths? What are you strong in? Because marriage is supposed to be where you're weak, he's strong, and where he's weak, you're strong. And you're supposed to be helping each other's weaknesses and strengths. So your strength, where you're strong, he might be weak, and you're supposed to help him. And where you're weak, he's strong. So you need to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. You need to know them, and you need to try to work on getting those weaknesses to strength before you marry. Now, I'm not saying you get everything done. It's a process. But what I'm saying is, try to know who you are. Try to know your strengths. Try to know your weaknesses, your personality. Try to know who you are, and try to make those weaknesses strengths. Because the truth is, when you marry, men, even though they say, oh, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, you're my one and only, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. The truth is, when you get married and they see some of those weaknesses, they would flat out, I'm not saying all men do this, but some men would, almost run you over. Like, they would talk about it. They would insult you, say, what kind of home training? You don't have any home training. Where are you from? Your parents didn't train you well. They don't know. They don't have that knowledge that, everybody in this world has strengths and weaknesses. Even he has his own weaknesses and strengths. Now, I'm telling you, there is no man that has, I know he's your bright and shining armor now, he's your everything, but he also has weaknesses. Whether you believe it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, he has his own weaknesses and he has his own strengths. So what am I saying? You need to know those weaknesses, and you need to talk about it. You need to ask this question: what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What's your vision for this family? What's your vision? Because if you need to know who you're marrying to. Because if you don't know your strengths and weaknesses, like I said, in the marriage, it's going to be everybody's weaknesses and strengths will come out. I don't care how you say you love each other and you're all lovey-dovey. It will come out, So, I just had to say that about self-love. So I talked about loving yourself regardless. You don't need anybody to affirm you for you to love you. It's very, very important. You don't need anybody to affirm you. If you get it, that's fine. But if you don't, you just have to be happy. I've learned that you have to be happy regardless. So you have to love yourself. You have to know your life purpose. What are you here for? What are you here to do? What gift has God put in you that the world needs? Because there's something that's in you that the world needs. And then wholeness. And I'm going to talk about wholeness as well. So don't go into marriage for a man to make you whole, because it will not happen. You have to have so much joy. I mean, it's a given thing. When you get into marriage, you have to get to a point where you have so much joy, so much love, so much everything that you're willing to give to that person, such that he's going to make mistakes. I'm not kidding you. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to miss it. And if you don't love you, if you don't have much of that to give him, you're going to walk out. And that's just the truth. You're going to walk out of the marriage. So that's what I'm saying. You have to be whole. You have to be whole. You have to get to that point where you're just, how shall I put it? You are full of joy. You're satisfied with yourself. You're so full of yourself. You're not full of yourself, but you're full of joy. You're satisfied. You have so much love, and then you're willing to give that love to him, such that if he does anything to hurt you or to cause you pain, you don't just take your bags and say, okay, I'm out. That's why a lot of marriages don't stand a chance these days, because we don't actually, we're not ready. We're not ready. We're really not ready. Some of these things, like I said, I had to learn in marriage because I wish I knew. So I'm telling you now, to my single sisters, just make sure that you are whole, that you love yourself. You love yourself regardless, and you know your life purpose. And also, even if he has a vision for the family, you know what, because you're supposed to help. If he doesn't have a vision, you can't help. You can help him. So he has to have a vision for you to help, and you know what your life purpose is, and that life purpose that you have can be in his own vision. What do I mean? Like, if he has a vision for, your family, your life and everything, that that your life purpose you can walk, you can also fulfill your life purpose without just being in the marriage and just being there to just have kids and that's it. And just to get married and have kids. There's something else you're supposed to be doing. And so I just wanted to share that, because okay, I wrote something down. I said, wholeness. Don't go into marriage for a man to make you whole, because it will not happen. You have to have so much joy, so much love, so much satisfaction, so much happiness, and you're willing to give it out. You cannot contain it or keep it to yourself. That's when you're ready to get married. When you have so much of those things and that you can't keep it to yourself, that's when you're ready to get married, honestly. And again, lastly, marriage is great and everything, but you need to love you. You need to love you. I did a post, I wrote a post on Facebook where I said the reason why it's a marriage, and I got this from a mentor of mine, Dr. Miles Monroe, where marriages don't make it is because people go into marriage looking for love, and you're not supposed to go into marriage looking for love. You're supposed to go into marriage because you love you and you're willing to share that love with someone else. That's when that marriage will work. Okay? Because trust me, a lot of people that have been married for so long, for years, they'll tell you there's so many things they've had to forgive each other for. And the reason why marriages don't stand a chance is because when you feel like you're not getting that love, because you went with the wrong mindset, because you think I need love, that's why you want a husband. No, you cannot think it that way. You have to love you, and you're willing to love that person. It has to be a given. You have to come from a giving standpoint. You have to come from a standpoint of giving. If you come from a standpoint of receiving, there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. You have to come from a standpoint of giving love. When you give love, then that's when, because trust me, it won't work. If you're going to find love, it's not going to work. Okay? And so, like I said, these are just nuggets. I wish I knew some of these things. I had to learn I wouldn't say hard way, but I had to learn it in marriage. So I'm just letting you know. And people that have been married for years, go ask them. They'll say the same thing. Okay. So this is what I wanted to share. If you're single or you have single friends, they need to define their life purpose. They need to make sure that they love them before they go into marriage, and they need to make sure they're whole. before they go into marriage. Because I mean, it's not all the time men will give you attention. It's not all the time they will tell you, I love you, your hair is beautiful, you look great. And you have to know you look great. You have to know you love you. So that's what I'm trying to say. And thank you so much for, I mean, you can share this with a friend or, with a single friend that you know. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much for your time and for watching. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Thank you.